In 2021, I spent an entire hour typing captions for a 10-minute video, word by word, like a medieval monk, but with worse posture and more energy drinks. Last week, the same job took 2 minutes. A machine did it. I just watched. This is how much AI changed work. Real studies, real numbers, no vibes. And by the end, I'll try to convince you to learn video editing or programming. Not because I care about your dreams, because the math is now embarrassingly in your favor. Let's take a trip to the ancient past, also known as 5 years ago. You want to edit a video in 2021? Congratulations! Here's your day. Captions, typed manually. 1 hour for every 10 minutes of footage. Cutting silences and bad takes, you scrub the timeline. By hand. Clip. By. Clip. Removing a background? That's called masking. Frame by frame. There are 24 frames in 1 second. Do the math. Actually, don't. It's depressing. Music you're legally allowed to use? A whole side quest. 1 10-minute video? 10 to 15 hours of work for one person, who usually also had a job. And programming? Oh, programming was fun. You memorized syntax like poetry. You spent half your life on Stack Overflow, reading an answer from 2013, written by a guy named DevWizard_88, praying his problem was your problem. It usually wasn't. You could lose an entire evening to one missing semicolon. 1. Semicolon. Years of that, before you could build anything you'd show another human being. Then AI showed up. And actual scientists started measuring what happened. Stat 1. A controlled experiment. 95 developers, same task. Without AI, about 161 minutes. With AI, 71. That's not a typo. Less than half the time. Stat 2. 3 randomized workplace experiments at Microsoft, Accenture, and a Fortune 100 company. 4,867 developers. The ones with an AI assistant completed about 26% more tasks. Published in a peer-reviewed journal, not a LinkedIn post. Stat 3. The company numbers got weirder.
Google says about a quarter of its new code is AI written. April 2026, 75%. AI written, engineer approved. At Google, the place people study their whole lives to get into. Stat 4. Microsoft, 20 to 30%. Meta, aiming for half. Across the whole industry, a January 2026 survey found AI writes about 42% of all committed code.
Stat 5. My favorite. Remember Stack Overflow? The website that kept programmers alive?
Questions per month peaked around 200,000. By late 2025, under 50,000, the lowest since 2009. Nobody's stuck anymore. They just ask the AI.
And it answers, without judging them. Mostly. One more, because it's absurd. At Y Combinator, the startup factory behind Airbnb and Dropbox, about a quarter of one recent batch had codebases 95% written by AI. Real companies. The AI writes, the humans steer. Same story, different software. A voiceover used to require a microphone, a quiet room, and self-esteem. Now you type text.
Adobe surveyed 16,000 creators in 2026. 87% of those using AI say it's growing their business or audience. 75% call it essential to how they work.
I make this channel with AI at almost every step. The images, the animation, the voice, the music. 5 years ago, this channel would have needed a team. Now it needs one guy with ADHD and a deadline. Wait, should I be sad about that? Anyway, now, the part every AI hype video conveniently skips. These tools are not magic. In Stack Overflow's 2025 survey, developers' #1 frustration, 66% of them, was AI answers that are almost right, but not quite, which, honestly, is also my personality. And here's the twist. More developers distrust AI's accuracy than trust it. The people who use it most trust it least. So no, AI is not an oracle. It's an extremely fast intern. It types, you decide. It proposes, you verify. Speed is the machine's job. Taste, direction, and responsibility, still yours. Sorry. So why start now? Because of the most beautiful stat in this entire video. A study of over 5,000 support workers, AI raised productivity about 14% on average. But for beginners, 34%. The newer you are, the more it helps. Read that again. For the first time in history, the tools favor the beginner. Experts got a little faster. Beginners got superpowers. The World Economic Forum, 1,000 employers, 14 million workers, expects 39% of key job skills to change by 2030, with software developers among the fastest-growing roles. The rules are moving, and moving rules favor the people who start now. But if AI does everything, why should I learn anything? Because AI is a multiplier. A beginner times AI beats a beginner alone. But 0 times AI is still 0. The tool multiplies whatever you bring. So bring something. So here's the deal. 7 days. Pick one door. Video. Film a 30-second story on your phone. Let AI do the captions and clean the audio. Then make 3 editing decisions yourself. Post it. It will be terrible. Post it anyway. Code. Build one tiny thing with an AI assistant, a habit tracker, a calculator, a website for your dog. And when it breaks, and it will break, don't just say, fix it. Ask, why did it break? What does this line do? Show me the simplest version. That's how AI becomes a teacher instead of a copy-paste machine. 7 days. Then comment, edit, or code below so the algorithm sees engagement and I see who's serious. In 2019, the excuse was too hard. AI killed that excuse. The only barrier left is you pressing start. Don't be most people. Statistically, you will be. But don't.